Tyler, unless you want to run out onto the street and I might tracking you down, running in that direction would have led you to a dead end. Also, I'd like to point out that pointing your toilet brush at someone's face is rather disgusting and a great way to make someone ill.
Justine Littlewood.
That music drop made me burst out laughing. You shouldn't use a trick like this if it makes a character go against their previously established traits. There's no way Gus would deliberately ruin the piece he's playing to fit with the words Justine Littlewood. Wow, this article looks like something the BBC prop department whipped up in 30 seconds. Would it really have hurt to put more writing or to have even come up with a more believable headline?
You went to live with your dad in July 2006.
I can only presume Gus got the year wrong when saying this line for two reasons. One, the story of Tracy Beaker's final episode aired on the 9th of December 2005, in which Justine packed a suitcase and said she was going to give her dad another chance. 2. As seen on Frank Grandad's grave in the episode Grandad, Series 2 of Tracy Beaker Returns takes place in 2010. Series 3 must therefore take place a year later in 2011. So yes, it is 6 years since Justine last lived at Elmtree, but only as she left in 2005, adding 3 sins.
You can keep it. We've got hundreds of copies.
Tracy forced Gina to spend £6 on one, so I hardly think it likely that she'll let Justine have a copy for free.
You know how it is. When was the last time you saw your mum?
In TSOTB, Justine never really came across as outright dislikable. Her actions and motives were well developed, and her hatred of Tracy was usually very justified. By Series 5, she even became the main protagonist, and her relationship with Tracy progressed to the stage where the two respected and were friendly towards each other. This episode takes away all of their development throughout the 5 series of TSOTB, only to add it back again at the end of the story, claiming they'd done something new. It could have been interesting to see the two getting along, to develop the two's relationships further, rather than reusing storylines from nearly 10 years prior to create a false sense of nostalgia for the long-time viewers, adding 5 sins.
What's wrong?
As mentioned in my top 10 episodes video, it makes no sense for it to be comforting Tracy throughout this episode, as he barely knows her. All of his lines and actions were so obviously originally written for Liam. It feels like Richard Whisker left with short notice, and the writers were pushed to create a new character to replace him.
Cam's kitchen got burnt again last year.
Yeah, but that wasn't my fault.
Tracy, it was your fault. You left 4 irresponsible children on their own.
She's like your kryptonite.
Justine's effects on Tracy are not comparable to the muscular weakness, excruciating pain, and potential death that kryptonite causes Supergirl. Seth's laugh is that of a psychopathic murderer's. Aside from a nice use of a split diopter, this scene is so frustrating. Just compare it with this one from Out of Control. Rick is Liam reincarnated. Changed my mind.
She said her mum was a big Hollywood star and that she was going to go and live with her and be a star too. She's so convincing, I almost believed her.
No, you didn't, because she wasn't convincing.
All right, then, so who's coming shopping?
Me, definitely.
I am.
Come on, Eula, come on.
No, not my thing.
Plus 100 respect for Elektra.
Oh, I'd love to.
Minus 100 respect for Sapphire.
I have worked my bum off,
We all know what that line would be if this wasn't a kids' show.
so I'm not even good at lying.
You're okay for an amateur, but I'm used to dealing with professionals.
Seriously though, picture this scene with Liam instead. 100 times better, am I right?
With the whole fake boyfriend thing, maybe you were trying to tell me something?
Tell you what.
You're a total mug, Seth. Let's recycle old jokes from the story of Tracy Beaker for no reason but to create false nostalgia for the audience.
Have you ever thought about fostering?
Are you talking about you and me?
Justine should have stopped the conversation right here. It's absolutely ridiculous and irresponsible that she'd even go on to entertain the idea without first consulting Mike. She gets Carmen's hopes up without any knowledge of her backstory, or if it would be a feasible idea. I thought Cam got Tracy's hopes up too high in TSOTB, but at least she never presented herself as a huge fan of the idea. Justine is acting as though it's a huge possibility when she's in the middle of getting married. I back Tracy 100% in this scene, adding 3 sins.
Well, what's this? It's all me, poor me.
Justine, it's called an autobiography. Autobiography. It's meant to be about the author, you moron. Justine, you just destroyed stolen property. How dare you?
You said that you knew that Cam could be your foster mum from the day you met her.
Tracy fantasised about Cam being her foster mother way before Cam gave any indication she was interested in the idea. Cam never promised Tracy anything.
I'm going to need to see some proof.
Really? I thought you'd just accept the word of a 14-year-old you've never met before.
I don't think I've been very fair on you.
Am I the only person that has zero care for Tracy and Seth's relationship? It never seems to progress anywhere, and I feel the writers just put it in because, ooh, Tracy's a grown-up now, so she has to have a boyfriend, rather than actually serving any function to enhance the stories.
Well, I'm glad to see you finally managed to put the past behind you.
She already had, 6 years ago. That is an excessive amount of jam, and while it's difficult to tell, the toast looks underdone.
You went to the bank and you paid me back every penny. Guess you were scared I was going to go to the police.
Or maybe you felt bad about it.
No, a man like that doesn't regret or feel bad about his scams. Don't you dare try to justify or humanise him in any way. He definitely paid back the money to stop Justine going to the police.
So, is this it, or will we see you again?
I don't know.
I can only hope that Justine's return in My Mum Tracy Beaker will be a better effort than this episode, though considering the show will be written by the same person that wrote this episode, Emma Reeves, I doubt it.
Right, that's it. I'm off to eat in the garden.